Hey guys, welcome back to our Bible study.
Hey guys, so today we're going to read Mark chapter 5. Make sure if you haven't prayed already, you can pause the video and pray, and make sure you read along in your Bibles. All right, I'm going to start with the first 14 verses. Yahushua and his disciples came to the other side of the lake. They came to a place near Gerasa. Yahushua came out of the boat, and immediately a man met him. A bad spirit was living inside this man. So the man lived in a place where there were many people's bones. Nobody could hold him. Often people tried to put metal around his ankles. They wanted to keep him in a safe place, but they all failed. He broke the metal. The man was always either by the bones or on the hills. During each day and each night, he screamed and he used stones to cut himself. He saw Yahushua a long way and he ran to meet him. He went down on his knees in front of Yahushua. He screamed loudly, "Yahushua, we have nothing in common. You are the son of Elohim." No, wait. You are the son of the powerful Elohim above. Please, promise Elohim that you will not hurt me. He said that because Yahushua had already said to the bad spirits, "Come out of this man." Then Yahushua asked this man, "What is your name?" The man replied, "My name is Army, because there are so many bad spirits in me." He said to Yahushua many times, "Please do not send these bad spirits out of this country." A large group of pigs was eating on the hills. Yahushua sent us to the pigs. Yahushua, send us to the pigs. Let us go into them, said the bad spirits. Yahushua let them. So the bad spirits came out of the man, and they went into the pigs. All the pigs rushed together down the hill into the lake. About 2,000 pigs died in the lake. The men who were feeding these pigs ran away. They told the people in the town and the farms. Those people came to see what had happened. All right. So, something that stood out to me is that when Yahushua sent them into the pigs, then this shows how well, of course, how bad it is to have the spirits in them, that even the pigs wanted to kill themselves and drown themselves because they didn't want the bad spirits in them. So yeah, that's just something that stood out to me. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Now, Busy is going to read the next 14 verses. All right, Busy, read from verse 14.
Those trending the pigs ran off. Tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town, the countryside. And the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Yahushua, they saw the man who had been possessed by legion of demons sitting there, dressed in his right mind. They were afraid. Those who had seen and told the people what had happened. The demon-possessed man had told about the pit as well. Then the people began to plead with Yahushua to leave their region. As Yahushua was getting ready into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed begged to go with him. Yahushua did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much Yah has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." So the man went away and began to tell the disciples how much
tell in the
Decapolis how much Yahushua had done for him. And the people were amazed. When Yahushua had again crossed over the boat to the other side, the lake of a large crowd gathered around him while he was by the lake. Then one of the synagogue leaders named Jairus came, and when he saw Yahushua, he fell at his feet. He pleaded earnestly with him, my little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live. So Yahushua went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors who had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse.
Right. Busy, what did you get from these verses?
The part, the demon-possessed man, the part that stuck out to me is how Yahushua didn't let the demon-possessed man, not really the part that stuck out to me, it's like, why didn't Yahushua let him go with them?
So, let me explain to my best ability. So, I think Yahushua didn't let him come because, he wanted him to stay with his people and teach them about all the good things that Yahushua did for him, especially since they didn't really let Yahushua stay in their town. So, they probably wanted him to tell them all the good things that Yah did for him.
That's what it says in verse 19.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Kai's gonna read the rest of the verses.
Is it working? Okay, there we go. When she heard about Yahushua, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Yahushua realized that power had gone out from him, and he turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my clothes? You see people crowding around you. His disciples answered, and yet you ask, who touched me? But Yahushua kept looking around and to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell to his feet, trembling with fear. She told him the whole truth. He said to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. While Yahushua was still speaking, some people from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader, While Yahushua was still speaking, some people came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader. Your daughter is dead. Why bother the teacher anymore? Overhearing what they said, Yahushua told them, don't be afraid, just believe. He did not let anyone follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the home of the synagogue leader, Yahushua saw a communion with people crying and wailing loudly. He went in and said to them, why all this commotion and wailing? The child is not dead, but asleep. But they laughed at him. After he put them all out and took the child's father and mother and the disciples who were there with him, and went into where the child was. He took her by the hand and said to her, Tabitha Koum, which means, little girl, I say to you, get up. Immediately, the girl stood up and began to walk around. She was 12 years old. At this, they were completely astonished. He gave strict orders not to tell anyone about this. and told them to give her something to eat. Started? Okay, started. So, verse, and I lost it. So, where is it?
It's verse 30 something.
No, it's not. It's right here. So, verse 25 and to 29. So, I think, so when it talks about the woman who was bleeding and she came up, verse 28 says, because she thought if I just touch his clothes, then I'll be healed, which shows that she had faith that Yahushua would heal her, which is important. Sorry. Which is important because I've seen some people say, oh, why did she have to believe? Why couldn't he just heal her? Because if you don't believe that Yah is gonna heal, like if you ask Yah for something, but don't believe that if he wants to or if he needs to do it, then he'll do it, then that's not good. Because like why would Yah heal somebody that doesn't even believe? So it's basically like if you take a medicine that you don't think is gonna help and it doesn't help, you're just gonna be like, oh, it didn't work. But if it does work, then you'll be like, oh wow, it actually works. Maybe I should start using this more often, which would be the same with Yah, because then if Yah doesn't work, which he always works, then you'll be like, oh, it didn't work. But when he does work, then you'll be like, oh, this works. Maybe I should start like looking into this, which I think is important. So yes,
He is busy. What's it called? I was wondering why he looked behind and asked them who touched his clothes because didn't he already know?
So I'll answer that question. So the question is, why if when she touched his clothes, then he turned back and asked who touched his clothes? Doesn't he already know who touched his clothes? Because he knows everything. So he did that. He asked because he wanted to see if she would actually be honest. My personal thought is that maybe if she wasn't honest, then my personal thought is maybe if she wasn't honest, then it wouldn't work, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, he just wanted to test her honesty and see if she would actually be honest and say that she was the one who did it. All right, now it's time for our Creation Nugget by Kai.
So a couple of days ago, I saw this verse, which is 2 Corinthians 11, chapter 11, verses 13 to 15, which says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself has transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed into ministers of righteousness, and whose end shall be according to their works. Now, when I read this, I was it reminded me of this species of firefly called Photorus, which, little fun fact, adult fireflies mostly don't eat until they die. And females of Photorus will try to use certain light patterns to attract males of other species so that they can fly in and they can eat them. There you go. And it reminded me of this verse reminded me of it because it shows that the false apostles, or like I think wicked people and Satan, they try to make themselves look like righteousness and look like they're good to try to bring you in. Which also another interesting thing is that Satan tries to transform himself into an angel of light, and Photorus uses light to attract the other lightning bugs. So, yeah, that's just something that I saw that was interesting to me.
So, thank you for that, Kai. So this actually reminded me of kind of the story of Adam and Eve, because Satan, he transformed himself to an animal that was in that garden or whatever, and he was tricking her, and he tricked her into doing the wrong thing, like ignorance. Yeah. And I was thinking, like, if she knew that he was Satan, and if he didn't change himself and disguise himself, just like regular people today, if they know that that they've been deceived by Satan, then they wouldn't listen to him, and especially if they know good things. So this reminded me of that. All right, guys, that's it for today's Bible study. Thank you guys for joining us. Comment down below what was your favorite part of the verses that we read. And
make sure to, if there's any verses that stuck out to you, you can put it in the comment section.
Yeah, and also comment down below what was your favorite part of Kai's Creation Nugget that he shared today. And make sure you guys like, comment, and share. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye.